Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. This video is a review on Kate Bush's debut album, The Kick Inside. This is also her debut album from 1978. Um, this is, I think, when I think of the opportunity of this album, or the good thing, um, obviously Kate Bush has a unique voice. Um, this one it's a little bit more high pitched. I feel like when she's younger, she's only 20 years old in this album. Pretty amazing that she has such command of her voice and such a unique personality at such an age. I wonder if she was in like theater or anything like that, or wanted to be in a plays and stuff like that. She has such a theatrical uh, personality and persona. Like even in the videos for this, like the man with the child in his eyes, even the video on Wuthering Heights. The videos are just she's very same as she kind of ever was. I mean, when it comes to like being theatrical and being into dance and being kind of how she is like kind of like as if she's on a play or something like that, or in a play. She always kind of has that personality and that look. Um, Back when she's at 20, I think her voice is a little bit more high pitched than I would like her voice to be in, as far as comparing her to the other albums that I have of hers. Um, you can maybe that's the opportunity for this album, is she still sort of perfecting her voice and her lower range, and this album doesn't really have the lower range that when I think of some other songs that she's done that I really like, where she's speaking a little bit more, and a little bit more conversational and still singing, versus just kind of the theatrical side, and that kind of goes with what songs I generally like about hers. I generally like the songs that are maybe a little bit more moody and drawn out, or even or electronic. Of course, the ones that are more electronic, like the Sensual World, that album, and even Ariel, to extend her 2011 album, or was it 2007? I don't know why both those years are sticking out, but Ariel's a really underrated album as well. And I tend to like her voices when she's a little bit more. I don't know. I wouldn't say more adult, but I can say less playful and less kind of all over the place. In this album, she does. There are a lot of good songs on this album for sure, but her voice is all over the place in almost every song, and it's a little bit more. I wouldn't say hard to follow or anything like that, but just kind of erratic. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm still coming down with a cold. Um, it's snowing actually out today. For the last like 6 hours, 6 7 hours, it's been snowing. It's finally stopped. It didn't stick at all. But interesting, waking up this morning and seeing snow. It's snowing. It's been pretty cold out today, so I feel like I've kind of been just laying low today, and but I do feel like coming down with cold a little bit. Maybe I should put on another sweater or something. But when I think of, there's some very good songs on here. I really like L'Amour, Look, Look Something Like You, Feel It, Moving, and Strange Phenomenon. Those are probably my four favorite songs. When I think of the opportunities of the album, I'm not sure the music fits her voice as much as her 80s work. Sure, there's some classic Kate Bush songs in here, and ones that are kind of tied to her early career, but I feel like nothing really in the as far as the music, nothing really sticks out. There's no like standout highlights. There's no solos. There's no, not just lacking the electronic side, which but nothing musical really sticks out here. They're all really supporting her voice. Kate Bush is the star here. She's the lead. And everything's about her, and well, it should be, but since it's a solo album, but I feel like the band around her is just sort of playing 2 3 minute songs, you know, and and it's kind of like, hey, Kate Bush, here's your band, and they're gonna play for you. Like maybe that's how it was in the '70s for her at this time, but I didn't look into the necessarily the band members that play on this one, but I feel like that's kind of opportunity of the album is that it's not really her type of songs. Maybe her mood of songs, like especially as the '80s went on, you can sort of tell her style a lot more. She's got a lot more melodic and a lot more. Um, I mean, the tracks are longer. That's definitely a more later '80s thing than a late '70s thing. That's for sure. But um, yeah, it's just there's was there 13 songs on here? 13 songs on here. A lot of good songs for sure. I'm not sure the music fits her voice as much as the '80s work, as far as like it being more to her style or more to her liking. I feel like they're treating her more like she's Linda Ronstadt, like than somebody who's like fitting a sound to her voice than really Kate Bush kind of picking her music and what should go with her music, if that makes sense. Um, but in 1978 for a 20-year-old girl, maybe that was a stretch for a female artist at the time. It seemed like in the '70s, like a lot of the female artists were like just kind of like, I mean, except for like maybe the Carpenters and like Hart and maybe later Pat Benatar or something like that. They were actually looked at as like members of the band. But when you think of like Olivia Newton-John and Linda Ronstadt and all the girl singers through the '70s, it seems like it was kind of like they just kind of treated them like they were singers and that's all they could do, or that's all that they were, or like, hey, you're a pretty voice and you're the lead singer. Okay, here, sit here and be pretty and sing. And it doesn't really sound like Kate Bush's what she probably. I don't know how she looks back at the album, but I was thinking, looking back at the album after seeing what she's done through the '80s, it kind of seems like this really isn't her style of music, and it's really like they're fitting it to her voice. Um, what else? What else? And I said that before. I'm not a fan of the more whimsical, playful, overly artsy ones that she can do. I wouldn't say that all the time. Like woman's work is very artsy, storytelling, but I wouldn't say storytelling. It's just kind of I don't know. Maybe it's the video that kind of throws me off, and it seems more theatrical than I like. But it's just kind of her voice when they kind of all over the place. I like when she's kind of in her pockets on songs. I don't care if she really sings different throughout the song, but it seems like when she's kind of herky jerky up and down in the same like 20 seconds, it just seems like it's a little much, and because she's kind of frantic in the way that she's singing, it seems like, or I wouldn't say erratic, but the music around here kind of seems erratic because it's not fitting towards her style, if that makes sense. There's a couple tracks on here that are kind of hokey, like Kite and Them Heavy People. Those are kind of a couple duds at the end of the album. But overall, Moving, I have 3 stars. The saxophone song, this is actually a touch kind of prog rock, which is interesting. It's the only song on here that I thought was a little bit different than how the rest of the album is. 2 1/4 stars. Strange Phenomena. That, again, is one of my favorite of the album. 3 stars. Kite, 1.5 stars. Man with the Child in Eyes, 2 3/4 stars. Wuthering Heights, 3 stars. James and the Cold Gun, 2 stars. Feel It, 3 1/4 stars. L'Amour Looks Something Like You, 3 1/4 stars. Them Heavy People, half star. Not a good song at all. Room for the Life, 1 star. It's okay. Kick Inside ends it strong at 2 1/4 stars. I thought it was 3 1/4. 2 1/4 stars. Not a bad song though. So yeah, it averages out to be 2.32. So it's 30 and a quarter stars divided by 13 songs. So 2.32. So I got it on the I think it's a pretty good album. I give it a 58 out of 100. Can't really say it's a good album because musically, like nothing sticks out, and no, there's some good songs on here, but nothing like really jumps out at you. And then it doesn't seem like her style. And 13 songs, it's I don't know. I'd rather take 10 really good songs and leave off 3 songs. There was, I think, Kite, Them Heavy People, and Room for Life could all be left out, and I think this would be a little bit more cohesive album and work a little bit better. But still, it's a good album. 58 out of 100. It just doesn't really compare to any of her 80s stuff, and um, like Hounds of Love and Central World and Ariel. Like those are far more even really far more artistic and far more meeting to working with Kate Bush's voice, and I would imagine probably a lot better musicians, not necessarily accomplished musicians, but ones that are more towards her voice and where she can kind of feel like she can do different songs. In here, there's too many songs that are kind of similar. But again, pretty good album, 58 out of 100. Thanks for watching.